Hey everyone, and welcome to the VitaCast, episode 62. I'm your host, Tyler Olthoff, and with me, as usual, is Kyle Wakeling.
Am I really with you, Tyler?
Again? You said this last week.
Well, come on, I'm not with you, and I'm not with you in any other sense either.
Fine. Then
We're
maybe
just two guys on a podcast, Tyler.
maybe Paul's with me. Paul, are you with me?
I am. It's three guys this week, but
Oh,
I'm not
boy.
with either of you in that kind of sense anyway. Just to clarify that.
Oh, well, I guess I'll just stop saying that you're with me then. So, just you guys hurt my feelings sometimes.
We're with you, but we're not with you. We're with you, but we're not with you.
All right, in spirit?
No.
Oh, well, I'm not wearing any pants, so.
Good thing, because my spirit would be grossed out.
Well, alright. Before we get into all that weirdness, I think we should go into what we've been playing this week. Since there's three of us, I think I'm going to switch it up. Paul, what have you been playing this week?
This week I've been playing Kick and Finick. It's on PlayStation Plus. It's one of the instant game collection games. And it's actually surprisingly quite good for such a small studio to have made a little platform puzzler the way it is. It's quite a lot of fun. I've also been playing Frozen Synapse Prime, trying to get that platinum. I'm very close to the end of the campaign now. It's just so cheap.
Yeah.
They give you a rocket launcher, a shotgunner, and two snipers, and then they give you like 10 enemies that are rocket launchers and machine gunners, and it's like, there you go, boys, have that. Survive for 10 waves. Oh yeah, and Fog of War's on.
That sounds exciting.
Thanks for that, 11. Yeah, thanks for that. So, yeah, I'm getting close now. I'm about seven levels left to go. Hopefully I'll have that busted by the end of the week.
Nice.
Yeah, for my first platinum this year, hopefully. God bless you.
Is that all you've been playing?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing on the Vita for the last couple of days. So
Gotta get that plat.
yeah, got to get that plat. Yeah, they should hashtag that shit.
What have you been playing, Kyle?
I've been playing a lot. This has been trophy hunting backlog time. So I've been kind of digging into a little bit of everything. I played some Senran Kagura Shinobi Versus. No trophies, but I got a little farther anyway. Going for some, I guess it's like special abilities that you have to earn. So that's always fun. Played some more Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z. You were playing that with me last week, but got a little farther, so yay.
Nice.
Played some Danganronpa and some Danganronpa 2. Trophy hunting there as well. Mostly school mode, so that was kind of just grindy shit. Played a little more Freedom Wars. I helped a couple people out with some missions that they had to do and cut my years down. I think I have like 80,000 left, so getting close to free. Played some Ollie Ollie. Really excited for Ollie Ollie 2, so kind of getting back into that, although I suck again. Also been playing some Hatsune Miku Project Diva F, so getting into that rhythmness. Not completely beaten easy mode yet, so yeah. Not the greatest at it, but I'm getting there. And I was just playing tonight Akiba's Trip Undead and Undressed, so cleaning up some trophies on that. Just did a whole whack of side missions and collected a whole bunch of stuff and beat up a whole bunch of vampire things. So
Nice.
That was fun.
Busy for you.
Very, very.
Yeah, very busy.
Well, all right. Let's see if I can top that. So
All right.
I've been playing a bit of Tokuden, trying to grind a little bit in that because I want to get further before the next one comes out in March. So I've put like 10 hours into that this week. So that was fun. What else did I play? Oh, I just like you, I've been playing some Ollie Ollie. I've been getting irritated because every time I do the daily grind or whatever, I do awesome in the practice, and then the real thing happens, and I like just I don't know, I choke and like crash on the first ramp. It's like, oh my god, here we go.
That's always how it is, Tyler. You can do something and then you're like, somebody's like, show me, and you're like, oh, can't do it.
Yep, exactly.
It's
Every
the same
time.
with minutes. Minutes is the same. I mean, it's got a daily challenge, and obviously you can practice it as many times as you want, but when it comes to the real thing, you just kind of choke, or it doesn't quite happen how you wanted it to.
Yeah. I had that one shining moment where I posted that score on Twitter. That has been the only shining moment since then.
It's all downhill.
Yeah. What else? Oh, I just blanked on it. Oh, I played a little bit of Minecraft with my girlfriend the other day. Me and her decided to play one of the maps that we were working on a while ago. We haven't played it in a long time, so we had no idea what we were doing. But it was fun. I had to teach her how to play the game again, which was entertaining because she finally got internet at her house. So I'm like trying to explain how to accept a game invite on the Vita, like through party chat, and I'm just laughing my ass off trying to explain to her. And it just makes me laugh because like I've had the Vita, since day one. So to me, this is like, I just don't even have to think about it. But here I'm like, oh, I actually have to think of how to explain this to someone that doesn't know how to do it. This is weird, but it was fun. Finally got her into the game, and we played for like an hour or so. What else did I play? There's something. What was it? Oh, just like Paul, he played Kick and Finnick, so did I. And I only played a little bit of it, though. The first level, and I enjoyed it, but I was really tired when I played it, so I stopped. And I really want to get back into it again. Hopefully I can do that pretty soon. Because everyone's saying it's awesome, so I'm feeling left out right now, so I should probably get past a couple more levels than just the first one.
You're feeling left out. Me over here, I don't even have the bandwidth to download it until tomorrow.
Well, there you go. So Kyle's feeling more left out than me. Haha.
Well, I'm feeling left out. You've been playing Takeden because that's still in its shrink wrap from when I bought it last year. It's a pile of shame. It's a pile of shame that I will get round to along with Child of Light, but yeah, too not enough time and too many games.
Yeah.
Contrary to popular opinion.
Well, I still played more games. WRC 4. I'm almost at that platinum trophy. I just got to play some more multiplayer, but this past weekend I played some multiplayer with some random dude, and of course, halfway through the race, he quits, and I just...
Well, it's the only trophy I need, the 3-hour one. So perhaps we should talk more. Actually,
did we just become best friends?
We did. I think it's about time we played some games.
All right.
I've been playing it with Foxu from the forum. But kind of like we've just been racing rather than just like doing one race and then sit on the finish line for 20 minutes and then kill the time that way. We've been kind of like doing it properly, and I think it would just be easier to get to that finish line and both of us just wait, because I think that would just eat the time up quicker.
Yeah, I also
cheaters.
Yeah.
Hey.
Boost.
Well, I still need the 20 races trophy as well, so I might have to do a couple finishes. But yeah, we'll have to do that. What
If anyone
else?
wants to join us, we'll let you know when we're doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll probably record it too, so then we can put that up on our Lounge Play channel and whatnot.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
What else? There's something, but I can't think of what it was. So I'll just interrupt the podcast randomly and let people know what it was when I figure it out. So let's continue on here. We did a couple reviews this week, Kyle. So what did we review this week?
Alright, well, we've got 3 reviews this weekend. First up, we've got Citizens of Earth, which was reviewed by Liam. He gave it a 3 out of 5, and he says, quote, Citizens of Earth is a game that spends too much time trying to feed on people's nostalgia than trying to be unique or fresh. An old combat system is reborn, but then instantly gets old again. It also offers far too much in the way of side quests that the game's main quest, which never seems to pick up anyway, even more forgettable. So, yeah.
I'd agree. I've played Citizens of Earth, and it starts off quite well. It's quite enjoyable, but you get to a point where everything just becomes too repetitive. There is a good game in there. It's just, it's kind of like you end up in random battles with the characters that are in the different areas you're in, and it's just the same thing over and over and over. And as you recruit more people into your team to be able to use them with sort of like different skills and moves and powers and stuff like that, it's just such a massive grind fest. I mean, I know it's an RPG in itself. It's just too much. It becomes boring. I mean, I've given up. I mean, I totally see where it's coming from on it.
It's political Pokemon.
That's what it is. I mean, everyone says it's like Earthbound, and I never played Earthbound back in the day. And, obviously that's divided quite a lot of opinion, but it is political Pokemon. That's what it is. Random encounters, traipsing from here to there. I mean, it sends you from one side of the map, and then you have to go back to the other. And sort of like, if you haven't unlocked the characters to do any fast travel, it's just a nightmare, and it's artificially inflating the amount of time you're playing it, and I hate games that do that.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but I was thinking about picking it up, but after all this, it just doesn't sound like I would be interested.
It needs a fast forward button, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get it on sale, if it was like half the price it is, then it might be worth it. And if you did like Pokemon, or you do like Earthbound or things like that, and you're looking for something to occupy you, or you got 30 hours to spend going from one side of the map to the other, then you might find something, Yeah. But for me, I agree with Liam.
All right. Well, moving on to the next review then. Next up is Grim Fandango Remastered, which was reviewed by Charlie, and he gave it a 4.9 out of 5, saying, quote, "With a brilliant story and clever yet challenging puzzles, Grim Fandango Remastered is a brilliant adventure game that has stood the test of time. With characters that ooze life and charisma yet remain undeniably dead, this tale of comedy noir is undeniably one of the genre's greats and a PlayStation Vita must buy," end quote. So, sounds like he very much enjoyed that one. Have either of you played that?
I have.
Not yet.
I think I've said before in previous episodes when I had played it that it's extremely challenging, and it can be annoying, but maybe I'm just not that smart, and Charlie's a lot more intelligent than I am.
Tyler cries when he plays Grim Fandango.
Sometimes.
Charlie said to me, because he said it is difficult because he's got the platinum now, and he said, it's a relatively easy platinum, and I was like, oh yeah, it's like, right, that's exactly what John from Punk and Lizard said to me about Final Horizon, and I said, these guys are just cleverer than me, because I can't do it. Anything with puzzles and strategy, you kind of like, you get to a point and you're just like stumped, So it looks interesting. I mean, it's the fact that it's an old game and it's said to have aged well, and the score that Charlie's given it means that I will have a look at it, but too many things.
Yeah, it's really awesome though. Like, I love what is the word I'm thinking for? Oh man, I blanked. Oh man, I can't even think of the word right now. The environment. No. Yes. Whatever.
The way it's presented, the interactions, and the way it's set out.
Yeah, I just love how it feels and the way you interact with people, and it's clever and it's funny. Like, I would go up to a character and talk to them and not expect what their reply was, and I'd just literally laugh out loud and be like, wow, a game hasn't made me do that in a while. So it was nice, and then I would get stuck for like an hour trying to solve one puzzle, and that's when it would piss me off. So and then when I figured out the answer, I was like, how does anyone figure this out? So
that's how games used to be. And I think that's the thing. There was back in the day, there was no internet, or very limited internet. You'd get stuck on a game, you'd buy it, and that's it. You'd just be stuck. You'd either write it into a magazine, or you'd ask a friend that had played it if they'd worked it out. It's like it wasn't so easy to find the solutions, was it? And that's what made them more challenging. They did test you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, when I first started playing it, there was a couple items that you get that I thought were completely useless, but it turns out they are, like, almost every item you get has a use, and you got to think about that. And I went into this game with the wrong mindset because I would hold something and be like, there's no physical way someone could base a puzzle off of this item. But sure enough, they did it. So I don't know. It's a good game though. I needed to play some more of it. But yeah, read the full review if you want to get a full gist of what Charlie thinks about it.
All right, there you go. Moving on, we move to our last review of the week. We have Eternal Blade, also known as Time Avenger. And that one is reviewed by Brad, and he gave it a 2.5 out of 5, saying, quote, Eternal Blade is a side-scrolling action RPG that is rife with potential but is burdened by a flawed control scheme. While the platforming and puzzles can be interesting from time to time, the frustrating controls drain any enjoyment that could be had. Things get better as the game progresses, but it never gets to where it needs to be. End quote. So it looks like Eternal Blade just doesn't measure up. What do you think, guys?
I haven't picked it up, obviously, but it looked quite interesting from the review. I mean, reading Brad's review, he does go on to say that there are a lot of things that you can enjoy within the game. He just says that the presentation and the controls really do ruin what it could have been.
Yeah, I haven't picked it up myself.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about trying the demo. This is one I was kind of on the fence about, and then reading that review, I'm like, maybe I should try it before I buy it. So that's the plan for me.
Well, it's a good thing they have a demo for it.
Very good.
That's the thing with anything, isn't it? I mean, just give demos a try. You've got nothing to lose, have you?
That's right.
Yeah, but the developer has everything to lose.
Alright, that's all our reviews, right, Kyle?
Yes, sir.
Alright, well, let's head on to those new releases, and someone will take it away when we figure that out. So, person with the new releases, take it away.
Hey everyone, Tyler here. Going to bring you those new releases for North America and Europe. These released on the 10th and the 11th. For North America, we got Eternal Blade, Jungle Rumble, Freedom, Happiness, and Bananas, and Minutes. There's also a sale on Conception 2 Children of the Seven Stars. If you're interested, it's $10 off, so it's a pretty fun game. I've played a little bit of it. I need to finish it. But yeah, go check that out if you've always been interested in it. Next, European, you guys are getting Fantasy Hero Unsigned Legacy and Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 2. So there you go. Back to the podcast.
Alright, thank you for those new releases. Alright, is anyone picking these up, Kyle? Yes? No?
No.
Not any of them? You don't want to rumble in the jungle?
No, probably not.
You don't have a spare minute for that?
I'll tell you something. I mean, I've got minutes. I've got minutes, and it's well worth a play. It is very good. Yeah, the reviews are on the website already because it's obviously released in Europe already and now out for North American Vita owners. It's very simple. You've got a minute and you've got to rack up the biggest score you can. It's kind of like you control a circle that you can shrink and grow, and you've got to avoid the dark energy and collect the light energy. It's very simple, but you've got power-ups to help you do it, daily challenges. If you've got a spare few quid or dollars and you're just looking for something to occupy you and test you a little bit, you can't go wrong. It's worth a look.
Nice.
Well, there you go. The reason I'm actually not getting anything this week is because I have some stuff I'm looking to play, so it's not like I'm not interested, because as I said, I'm kind of on the fence about Eternal Blade, and as Paul said, Minutes is worth looking into. I'm not even really sure what Jungle Rumble is, so that's not on my radar right now. But yeah, I think my issue right now is I've just got so much in the backlog that I've just started playing or kind of am in the middle of that I'm like kind of hooked in, that I don't want to buy anything new unless it's something big that comes up that I must have it now. So that's the reason I'm withstanding with the wallet.
Yeah, that's why I haven't picked up Grim Fandango yet. You know, I really need to push myself to start these games I haven't even started. There's loads of games I want to finish getting trophies in, and it's like if I just start yet another game, you know, I'm just pushing them further and further back. You know, some weeks I have more time to play than others, but you know, you look at Child of Light and Takeda, and I'm looking at many hours I need to shift into them, and if I start something else that's going to take me that as well, where do I stop? You know?
Yeah. That's pretty much what I was going to say. So many games, and they're just not grabbing me enough to really jump in right away.
No, exactly.
Not to say they're bad games, but just
Not pulling me yet.
No
Yeah,
hook.
that's right. Alright, well, those were your new releases. Let's head on into the news for this week. We've got 12 items, so let's start it off. First up, developer Super Good Pixel has set up a Kickstarter campaign to bring their game Major Rocks to the PlayStation Vita, as well as several other mobile devices. They're hoping to launch the game, which is well in development, in July, but they need to raise $5,000 to make it happen. This will be their third game to be released as a studio, as previously they have worked on titles for other companies including Konami. Major Rocks will hopefully be the first in a series of arcade-inspired games that the company are hoping they can build upon, this game being their take on classic space shooters. If you're interested in the game or looking to help fund it, there's a link in the Kickstarter page on the site, so go check it out. Next up, 5BP is set to bring its dating sim adventure title Lovely X-Cation 1 and 2 to PlayStation Vita this spring. A visual novel-style series of titles following a boy who needs to get out of the house, Lovely X-Cation 1 and 2 will include both the 2011 launched Lovely X-Cation and the 2013 launched Lovely X-Cation 2 in one package for the price of one. The games will come with additional scenarios and events, as well as a new Vita unique features, but as with all console ports of dating sim style games, any content deemed too adult will be removed prior to the transfer. New elements include AR camera, lets you take pictures with the game's heroines, Lovely Call, select your favorite name from a list to be called by each heroine, Tastes tuning system lets players increase their favorability with each heroine by seeing through their tastes in order to make the best choices during conversation. Lovely Shot, exclusive to Lovely X-Cation 2, lets players download wallpapers by reading QR codes that depict the current scene on display. Walking Talk, a system that lets players walk side by side next to the heroine, enjoy the presence of your in-game sweetheart. Lovely X-Cation 1 and 2 launches May 21st in Japan. How lovely. Next up, System Soft Alpha has announced the upcoming release of Daizenyaku Exceed 2 in Japan. Nailed it. The sequel to 2006 Daizenyaku 7 Exceed for PlayStation 2. The same name features maps, weapons, and battle scenes rendered in 3D for the first time in the series. The game also promises modern turn-based simulation as it's at its greatest and will include a full campaign mode, mission mode, tutorial mode for beginners, customizable free play mode, and a map editor to throw some play into. Daizenyaku Exceed 2 will be available on PlayStation Vita April 29th in Japan, priced at 6,500 yen.
Alright, moving on. Next up, we get some fresh details on Bandai Namco's upcoming third Super Robot Wars Z Tengoku Hen, including bits about new mechanics, transformations, custom music, and more. First up, we have news about a new menu added to the D-Trader, which allows the buying and selling of upgrade parts. You can strengthen your Z Crystal by spending Z Chips earned throughout shooting enemy units down and other tasks, giving you unit buffs such as Scout Out All Enemy Units or Combo Gauge +1 at Ally Phase Start. Next, we have some details on the reappearance of Buster Machine number 7, which can be activated by taking Nono from Die Buster's morale to 120 and executing a command called Combat Mode. This enables her and her machine to transform into Buster Machine number 7, which can't be reverted for the duration of the stage. Continuing on, a new tag command has been added called Boost Dash, which increases your movement power by 5 and allows you to move without being affected by the terrain. You can use this command even when surrounded by enemy units, making for a quick escape if you need it. And moving on to the music. We've been told that not only can you set background music for each mecha, but you can also set music for each weapon. This can make for some pretty badass fights, as pulling out a new weapon will then set off a theme song for battle, pulling you into the experience with cinematic overture of awesomeness. Lastly, it has been revealed that with clear data for 3rd Super Robot Wars Rengoku Hen, included with first print copies of the game, and 3rd Super Robot Wars Z Jigoku Hen, you'll receive special link bonuses which are as follows. Jigoku Hen cleared once will give you the pilot initial PP plus 150, initial kills plus 5, initial funds plus 50,000, Z chips plus 1,000, and upgrade parts. Jigoku Hen cleared more than once will give you pilot initial PP plus 10, initial kills plus 1, initial funds plus 10,000, and Z chips plus 200. Jigoku Hen Scenario Complete will give you pilot initial PP plus 50, initial kills plus 5, initial funds plus 50,000, chips plus 1,000, and upgrade parts. And lastly, Rengoku Hen cleared once will give you initial funds plus 50,000, Z chips plus 500, and upgrade parts. Third Super Robot Wars Z Tengoku Hen is set to release April 2nd in Japan. Next up, a phone number in a tweet on the official Hotline Miami Twitter account may have given fans a clue on when the much anticipated Hotline Miami 2 wrong number is coming to PlayStation Vita. The tweet is as follows. At Hotline Miami tweeted +1 786 519 3708 extension 10. Calling the number leaves you with the following message. Quote, "We are 50 blessings. Together we march into the future. You have reached the wrong number." End quote. Included in the message is the word March, which echoes repeatedly in the background, a possible hint at the game's release month. At the same time, the tweet says extension 10, but there is no way of entering extension 10 when you call the number. Could that be there to pinpoint a specific date in March, perhaps? March 10th is a Tuesday in the US, which of course is the day where the PlayStation Store is updated. No official announcement of a release date has followed this hint. However, you know we'll be on it whenever they choose to state something solid. And next up, everyone's favorite foul-mouthed hero is making his long-awaited return, and he is coming to the PlayStation Vita. Q*bert Rebooted has just been announced as a cross-buy title across all PlayStation platforms that will see a new and improved Q*bert as well as the old arcade classic. Gonzo Games, Sideline Amusements, games production company, and Loot Entertainment have created a reimagining of this timeless classic with new features that will give the whole game a more modern feel. In addition to improved graphics, some other big differences will be the change from hopping on cues to hexagons. This inevitably changes the way the game will be played as it gives players and opponents more directional choices. Other changes include the addition of power-ups, traps, and gems to collect. There will also be a variety of new characters to choose from, as well as new enemies to evade. Time and score challenges will be included to give players the option to really test their skills. Q*bert Rebooted will allow you to choose from either the original classic or the new and improved version, and will be launching in North America on February 17th, followed up with Europe on February 18th, and will be cross-buy on the Vita, PS3, and PS4.
Alright, next up. Tokyo Dark is a game that is currently on Square Enix service known as Collective. It is a service where devs from all across the world can possibly submit their game they have to Square Enix. There's a catch though. You have to meet certain requirements and standards to even be approved. You basically submit your game as if you were going to go through crowdfunding, but people gotta vote on your idea. If you get enough votes, Square Enix will assist you in helping with the game being advertised. Anyways, on to the game itself. Tokyo Dark aims to be a game that is part visual novel and part point and click. It is heavily based off anime and manga, so if you're not a fan of that, then you probably won't like this. Below is a quote straight from the dev's Square Collective page. Quote, "Tokyo Dark is an anime-style horror adventure game that combines gameplay elements from Western point-and-click games with Japanese visual novels. Against the neon lights of modern-day Tokyo, follow Detective Aito into the shadows, into violence, lies, and paranoia. Explore the tunnels and sewers beneath the city and uncover a paranormal conspiracy hidden in the depths of the Tokyo Dark." End quote. It is going to be heading to the PC, but if they get enough support, they will consider releasing it on the PlayStation Vita itself. Though, show these guys some love and demand we get it on the Vita. So, feel free to go check that out on the site. Next up, Drift Stage, a game made by Super Systems Softworks, that's a lot of S's, will be coming over to the PlayStation Vita and the PlayStation 4 within the next year, according to a new post on their Kickstarter page. Drift Stage is going to bring you back to the older days of race car games with the way it looks and also the graphics itself. The thing is, that it says on its Kickstarter page it will take a more modern take on the race car genre of games. With there being so many race car simulators out nowadays, can Drift Stage possibly compete? Time will tell, as it is first going to release on PC, followed next year on the PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 4. Below is a quote on their Kickstarter page in which you can still back, but they've already reached their successful amount to be funded. Quote, Drift Stage is a modern take on the classic arcade racer, paying homage to the era that birthed the genre. Drift Stage features a unique art style, blending pixel art and 3D models to create a colorful and vibrant world to race in, focusing on easy-to-pick-up gameplay with enough depth to keep dedicated race fans satisfied. Drift Stage hopes to bring back the blend of pure fun and challenge that was a staple of arcade classics, end quote. So there you go. Go check out the trailer on the site to get a better look. Next up, following the special Persona 2015 livestream, Atlus have announced a new incentive for picking up Persona 4 Dancing All Night at launch in Japan. Fans who manage to pick up the first print edition of Persona 4 Dancing All Night, which launches in Japan on June 25th, will bag themselves a bonus Blu-ray, which will include never-before-seen footage of Persona 5, which is set to launch sometime this year on PlayStation 4. For those of you who've yet to experience the Persona universe, Persona 4 Golden is available on PlayStation Vita. You can check out our review on the site. And there's a spoiler. It's really good, so go read that. For more information on Persona 4 Dancing All Night, make sure you stay tuned to the Vita Lounge.
That's very good advice, Tyler.
Very good indeed.
All right, moving on. Sorry, Paul?
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, I don't usually like anime-style games or things like that, and I didn't know anything about Persona or the universe, and I love Persona 4. It hooked me, and if it can hook me, who's a non-fan, then that's the best advice you can have for it, isn't it?
Yes.
There you go. All right, moving on. Ever wanted to wield a samurai sword whilst wearing your swimming costume? Samurai Warriors 4 2, the reworking of Samurai Warriors 4, is set to release this week in Japan, and releasing simultaneously will be the Special Outfit 2 DLC, which will contain a rather unique set of costumes for the female protagonists in the game. Whilst battling hordes of enemies, you can dress in a variety of different garbs, giving your character occupations such as policewoman, maid, and a barely dressed cat that is perhaps the most bizarre, as well as a swimmer. The costumes will be available for the characters Oichi, Kanoichi, Okuni, Ina, No, Nene, Garcia Aya, Kai, Notora Lee, Koshosho, Lady Hayakawa, and Ginchio Tachibana. An individual costume will cost 191 yen, or about $1.60, I guess that would be US, or £1 British. Or you can download the whole collection for 2,000 yen, which is about £11 British, about $17 US. Samurai Warriors 4 2 is set to be available February 11th in Japan, with no word yet on a localization. Next up,
I'm looking at some of these images now. It's a bit bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you haven't checked it out yet, go and have a look on the site. It's unbelievable, some of these costumes.
Oh boy. We might get distracted and not continue doing the podcast.
it's got Paul Giggly, so that's a pretty good recommendation.
Yeah, the cat one's very bizarre.
Indeed.
Alrighty. Hopefully you'll get a look at those, and maybe you'll have a nice of a laugh as Paul did. Next up, this week's Famitsu has revealed that God Eater 2 Rage Burst and Sword Art Online Lost Song will feature crossover costumes as downloadable content. Sword Art Online Lost Song's content will see a Julius outfit available for Kirito, while Asuna will have an Elisa outfit made available for her. As for God Eater 2 Rage Burst DLC, we will see Gun Gale Online style Kirito and Sonon costumes for your character to be made available. The two sets of content are planned to release this spring, with the possibility that they may debut at a Dengeki Online event scheduled for March 15th. It would also appear that there could be more to the collaboration that is not restricted to the game. Also revealed in Famitsu was the news that Agile will be a playable character in Sword Art Online Lost Song, and the game will also feature Eugene and Recon, but they will not be playable in the game. God Eater 2 Rage Burst is set to launch in Japan on February 19th, and Sword Art Online Lost Song is due to release on March 26th. Neither title has been confirmed for Western localization as of yet, but be sure to check the Vita Lounge for more on that.
Jealous.
Well, we did have some trademarks, so, you know, hint, hint.
Fingers crossed.
Very much so. And moving on to the last bit of news for the week. The dramatic shooting action game based on the anime TV series that aired, Cross Ange Rondo of Angels and Dragons TR features a new protagonist character, Nami, and plays out in 3 parts. A visual novel-like drama part that depicts everyday story, and where you can build your trust with the heroines, customization parts where you can customize your aircraft, and battle parts where you control your paramail and do battle with dragons. The release date for Cross Ange Rondo of Angels and Dragons TR has been announced and is launching in Japan on May 28th for 6,640 yen, or approximately $55 US. First print copies of the game will come with a special custom theme featuring the heroines of Cross Ange, so if you're interested, get on the pre-order. And that's the news.
That was a dramatic pause.
I didn't know if my thing scrolled down because I didn't put trailing marks. My bad.
It's all good. It was dramatic. I liked it. People were like, what's he going to say next? And then you didn't. All right.
Well, I did.
Well, it took a bit. Anyways, talking points, Kyle. Let's head on there. That's where we're heading next.
As usual, Tyler, the announced games and release games we're looking forward to from the week. So what looks good?
I think people are tired of hearing my voice, so I think Paul should let us know what he's excited for, since we haven't heard from him in a while. So, Paul, what are you excited for?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I'm quite looking forward to Cuba next week. It's obviously a classic game from when I was a youngster, and I'd like to see not only how they reimagined it, but also just to get a hold of it in his old way on the Vita would be quite nice. From the news, hopefully Hotline Miami 2 will be out in March. I'm not particularly good at the first one, but I do like it, and I think that the second one can't come soon enough. So fingers crossed and hope that's coming.
Agreed. Not excited for Persona 4 Dancing All Night? You want to get your groove on? Awkward silence.
Yeah. Measured falls. I mean, I'll probably check it out. I mean, it's a very different game to Persona 4. You know, it's as a game like that, I don't think it's my kind of thing. But never say never. You know, I always, if you'd have told me a year ago I'd have been buying Persona 4 in the first place, I'd laughed at you. But so it's in my top 2 Vita games that there is. So, you know, it's got to be worth a look, hasn't it? But
yeah.
It's not on my instant buy list. It's something I'll have to check out and psych myself up to buy, I think.
Well, all right. I guess I'll talk about what I'm excited for. Well, I'm a little bit excited for Persona 4 Dancing All Night. Just like you're saying, it's not something that you're super looking out for, but I'm not really a fan of dancing games, but I love Persona, so I think I'm going to be one of those typical people that buys it just because it has a brand I like on it. So I'll be picking that one up day one. What else? Definitely Hotline Miami 2 as well. I'm really excited for that. Love the first one. I'm okay at the first one. I was able to beat it, and that's a pat on my back because that game is not easy. But yeah, I played the second one and had a lot of fun back when I was at PAX Prime in Seattle, and it's just as good as the first. So if you love the first, then you're gonna love this one. What else? Of course, Sword Art Online Lost Song, and I'm really hoping that God Eater 2 is heading this way, because, yeah, I want them. Now. Right now.
Greedy.
Yep.
Yeah, make it happen.
What about you, Kyle? What are you excited for?
All right. So from what was mentioned anyway, Hotline Miami 2 obviously catches my eye, having played the first and enjoyed that. Also, the God Eater 2 Rage Burst and Sword Art Online Lost Song, those are givens. Persona 4 Dancing All Night, I'm conflicted because I'm almost of the mind that I want to buy it, but almost of the mind that at the same time I don't, because it seems kind of ridiculous. So, I think I might wait and hear impressions from people once this comes out and decide then, because I'm really kind of on the fence and it's driving me nuts. So yeah. Out of what was mentioned, there you go. Of course, there's always the things that we're looking forward to in the future that haven't been mentioned, but you all know the score on that, I think. Yeah, so let's move on to the next talking point, which is the PlayStation Store top downloads for January. So, January, Minecraft again. Minecraft sitting at number 1 in both North America and Europe again. I don't think it's probably going to be moving for a while. It's just that kind of game, so.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, it dominated PS3 charts for a long time, didn't it?
Yep.
Definitely. So, aside from that persistent number 1, the only other kind of newcomer we see is Grim Fandango, which has hit in Europe at number 7 and in North America at number 10. But anyway, I'll just recap you this list real quick. So, North America top 10. Number 1 is Minecraft. Number 2 is Persona 4 Golden. Number 3 is Little Big Planet. Number 4 is the Ratchet & Clank Collection. Number 5 is Guacamelee. Number 6 is Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment. Number 7 is Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Number 8 is Resogun. Number 9 is Ollie Ollie. And as I said, number 10 is Grim Fandango Remastered. As for Europe, they do a top 20, so bear with me. Number 1 is Minecraft. Number 2 is FIFA 15 Legacy Edition. Number 3 is Terraria. Number 4 is Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Number 5 is Motorstorm RC. Number 6 is Little Big Planet. Number 7 is Grim Fandango Remastered. Number 8 is The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Number 9 is Senran Kagura Shinobi Versus. And number 10 is Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z. Moving into the back 10, number 11 is Hotline Miami. Number 12 is Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. Number 13 is Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment. Number 14 is The Walking Dead, the complete first season. Number 15 is Ollie Ollie. Number 16 is Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1. Number 17 is Good Old Killzone Mercenary. Number 18 is Lemmings Touch. Number 19 is Tearaway. And rounding out the 20 is Senran Kagura Bon Appetit. So, yeah, some great games there, but definitely some stuff that has boosted up the list due to sales and other things. What do you guys think of those lists?
Yeah, like FIFA 15. FIFA 15 in number 2. Do you guys not read reviews, or you obviously don't care about the online? Or are you realising afterwards that it's now online?
They must be putting LSD in the Europeans' water or something.
Doesn't
hallucinating.
I mean, it got a massive discount. I know that in the recent sale, but even so, I mean, the main reason for playing FIFA is surely playing other people online, which you can't do in the Legacy Edition. So,
doesn't it say that it has online still? Like, if you go to the actual thing?
I don't think so. I mean, I can go and have a look at the box in a minute and update you. I'm pretty sure it does say that there is no online.
No, I don't mean I don't mean on the box, because this would be PlayStation Network.
Oh right, yeah.
So I think on the PlayStation Network it still says that it has online. If
it says on there that it has multiplayer and you bought it and it hasn't, then you want to be getting in touch with Sony.
Yeah, I could be wrong though. They might have fixed it, but I'm pretty sure.
Everybody.
Yeah, you never know.
So the thing is, something like that. I mean, it's bad enough that they just give us new kits and roster updates. They don't even update the stats or anything like that. It's quite laughable. But it's like the players are still the same age they were back in FIFA 11. That's where we're going with this. They aren't updating the stats. They aren't updating the players or anything like that. And to have a game selling reasonably well that's had all that stripped out of it just says to them it's all right to do it.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
It is. I mean, you're torn, aren't you, between you want the games like that to come. I'd be perfectly content enough if that's all they were going to do if they kept doing it, because it is going to attract some people. But keep it online. Keep it online.
Yeah.
I think people would honestly rather pay like $20 or $30 every year to have everything upgraded and from an old game than to go out and buy something new that has shit cut out of it. Like, straight up, if you want to save some costs, just update the friggin' game and charge people for the update. Because this is kind of
I've said that all along. If that's all you're going to do, absolutely. If that's all you're going to do is a squad update and a roster update, and you don't want to do it as a free one, just do it for a couple of quid. I'm not advocating people doing that, but I would rather just pay £4 or £5 or whatever and just get them to update everything for me and not have to buy the game again if you've got no intention of bringing new features to the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of what MLB The Show is doing right now with 15, because they're not doing a physical version for 15 now for the Vita. It's only going to be digital, but they've lowered the price of the Vita version, which is, it's still frustrating, but at least they were intelligent enough to drop the price for us.
Yeah, throw us a small bone, even if it's something. Whatever, it's better than nothing. People will take, their salt if they got a little sugar with it a lot easier than if it's all salt.
Yeah.
Well, right. Store page now, it does say one player for FIFA 15.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Gone back up to full price now, so don't buy
it. Yeah, we probably won't see it there for February.
No.
I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you're more likely to see 14 chart again than 15.
Yeah, FIFA Soccer was the first game I got on the Vita, and I flippin' loved it. I was like, this is what the Vita's gonna do. I can't wait. Thank you, EA. And then look what they did to me.
It was my first game. I mean, I bought my Vita with just that game initially. Yeah. Because I wanted to be able to play things like that, without being told off for monopolising the telly. And then they re-released the game 4 times exactly the same.
Bait and switch. They give you the old bait and switch, you guys.
Yep. We've been had.
Definitely.
Alright, probably move it along. It's enough about FIFA and EA. We could go on for an hour about them.
Alright, well, our last talking point here is kind of a talking point and kind of not. But since we have Paul here, that works out for the better, because we just wanted to mention Paul's interview with Red Phantom Games talking about minutes. So maybe you want to say a couple words, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, I covered minutes earlier on in the podcast. It's a great little game. The clue is in the name. You've got a minute to get the biggest score you can. And I had a bit of a chat with Richard Hodgen from Red Phantom Games, a one man studio. Just talking to him about the game, what his thoughts were and his thoughts about the Vita. It's a great little chat. If you've got 5 minutes, just to go and have a read. It tells you a little bit about Richard himself. As a 10-year-old programming on his ZX81, he later went on to get a career in the games industry. He worked at Codemasters on Colin McRae games and the Toka touring cars. He founded his own gaming studio, which has developed Pursuit Force and Motorsport Arctic Edge on the PSP. And Sony bought his studio. They closed it in 2012, and then he's gone on to found his own thing and start all again. But he wanted to create a game that was different to modern games. His ethos is kind of like in today's, especially AAA games, there's an awful lot of doing nothing. You go out there and you're spending $40, $50, $60, pounds, whatever, on these big experiences, and a lot of the time you're just running across levels, not doing an awful lot as you're going from A to B, and it's just wasting time. And he wanted something that would fill time and not waste it, but have that kind of have power-ups in it and have that kind of twist on it. So, it's a good read. He's a great guy, and it's definitely worth having a read and worth having a look.
All right. Well, sounds good. So if you guys are interested in minutes or hearing what Red Phantom Games is up to and how they've got where they are, have a read on the site.
Oh, yeah.
There's one other thing I want to talk about, which we haven't written down, and that's that's a project that we've been working on, which is a magazine. It's gained a little bit of support at the moment. We've created a fundraiser for it on Patreon, and you can find us at patreon.com/the Vita Lounge. We're planning to do and at the moment quarterly e-magazine, which is going to feature all of the content from the website and some exclusive stuff as well, in sort of like a magazine format for easier reading at a time that's more convenient for you and requires less clicking. And for those of you that want to take on and sponsor us or support us with it, we've got some various options available for you, including a physical copy of the magazine or getting your name in the magazine and things like that. If you're interested and it's the kind of thing you'd want, then please have a look, spread the word, share, and if you've got any change available to help us, then we'd appreciate you helping us make that come alive.
All right, yeah, definitely. I think that's all our talking points for this week, right, Kyle? Right?
As far as I know.
I think you're right. So let's head on to that listener mail. I've got some that I don't think you've posted, so if you want to read your 3 here, then I'll read a couple that I've got.
All right, sounds good. So starting off, we've got one here that we kind of responded to, but we'll get to that. So Mohi Bhatia at iMafia97 on Twitter, Jozone70, which is at Yellow Zephyr on Twitter, and Riley Snots, and that's at Riley Snots with a Z on Twitter, all ask about the event on the 13th. If they'd been listening to last podcast, they'd have heard a response regarding the video that somebody brought up. But it pretty much amounts to, we very seriously doubt that it's Vita related and or Vita skewed. And even if they'll even mention a Vita is, kind of a shot in the dark. So I wouldn't be speculating at this point.
Yeah. I've had some people talk to me about it, and they're asking if Sony are going to announce that the Vita is being canned, and it's like, I seriously doubt that as well. You think they'd have an event to announce that they're going to be ceasing production on the Vita? They'll just stop doing it. They're not going to have an event to announce it.
Yeah.
Not only that, they have games. They have games that are announced that are coming. It's not like they can just be like, oh, well, you can't buy any Vitas anymore, but we're releasing all these games. That
I mean, there's sense. 150, 200 games in our lists, that are coming. It's not being canned anytime soon, people.
Yeah, the only thing I can think about being announced is, or why everyone's thinking that something's going to be announced, and ignore the dogs, they like to talk to us sometimes. What was I going to say? Oh, isn't the 3DS, the new one, launching on the 13th?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I think people are just assuming that Sony's trying to be like, hey, guess what? Vita stuff is happening when, Nintendo's trying to push their new handheld as well. So I can understand some of the things behind it, but it seems like people are just like, hey, let's grab random crap from out of the air and put it into this video.
Yeah, see, even that, like, I don't see them directly, coming out with something against the 3DS, because that's kind of just not good marketing at this point. Like, I mean, if you look at it, yeah, if you look at it from like a numbers perspective, the 3DS is far ahead, and to say that you could bring up something Vita and make a big deal on a day that's going to be a 3DS day, it would have to be big. Like, they would have to be selling you the Vita for $50, and some guy's gonna bring it to your house on like a fucking pillow, and like, it's just something completely ridiculous for it to even register in people's minds. So yeah.
Sony have made some baffling decisions with the Vita over the last 3 years. We all know that. But going head to head with a news piece on the day that the new 3DS launches it's beyond stupid. It's going to get swallowed up in, no disrespect to it, everything's going to be 3DS focused in the handheld market. Nothing to get a look in. It'd just be swallowed, unless you want to bury some bad news.
Yeah. I guess that could relate to the Vita is dead part.
Although again, who the hell announces death?
Right.
Like, you don't come out and you're like, yeah, the product is dead. You just stop talking about it. It never happened. You sweep it under the rug. That's it.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
It's not happening.
All right, moving on to our next Twitter question. This one's from Jozo70 at Yellow Zephyr as well, and he says, "What games do you think the PS Vita needs?" So that says needs there, so kind of maybe skew your question towards a need. What do you think, Tyler?
Oh boy, what does it need? Marketing.
Games, Tyler, games.
They did a game about marketing.
Well, they kind of did. It's called Metrico. No.
No, in all seriousness, what games does it need? You know, there's a couple developers out there that if I think they pushed out one of their games, it would be crazy. And Grand Theft Auto, Gran Turismo, maybe if EA actually focused on their sports titles and pushed some of those out, I think that would really help the Vita's, you know, appeal to the mass market out here in the West. So I think that's what it needs.
I agree with Tyler. I think there's a lot of, you know, the PSP had a tremendous amount of sports-orientated games, you know, and Western, especially American and Canadian gamers, they love your hockey, you love your basketball, you know, that these kind of games are the kind of things that are synonymous with the PSP, and you would have thought that, you know, even if you were just going to do a bullshit legacy edition every year, get one of them out there so that there's these games there. People will buy them. People will buy the ice hockey games. They will buy the basketball ones. They'll, you know, the MLB games seem to sell quite well. FIFA games sell quite well. You know, these kind of sports-orientated things, they definitely need. I think something like a WWE game, even if it was kind of simplified, you know, that's the kind of thing that it needs as well. I also think that there's other kind of things. It's a portable gaming device, you know. Why hasn't it got things like board games and stuff like that? You know, they're popular on the consoles. They're popular on mobile devices. You know, your Monopolies, your Risks, and all these kind of things. You know, these are no-brainers. People would buy them. You know, I think they're massive areas of opportunity as well.
Yeah, I think everything that's been said so far is very valid. I think sports games are a big one that hasn't really been thoroughly covered. I remember, like, a lot of my time on the PSP was spent with Hot Shots Golf, which of course is covered, but NHL, Gretzky NHL, and I played a lot of NBA Street, and neither of those games even kind of come close to being on the Vita, so it's hard to be a sports fan or enjoy playing sports games unless you're playing, you know, MLB The Show or one of these cut down versions of FIFA. Yeah, it's kind of a lonely market. Even Madden only came once and never came back, so it's kind of harsh. Also, things like skateboarding games. You don't see any Tony Hawk or skate games on the Vita. Horror games. So I mean, there's a couple here and there, and Japan obviously has more than we do. But there's, you know, no Resident Evil, no Silent Hill, no kind of out of the box games. There's a Silent Hill Book of Memories, but that's more of a dungeon crawling RPG game than a horror game. They've just kind of missed key areas, and some of the stuff that they have put out, like if you look at car games, racing games, they're missing sort of kind of, you know, those areas that stick out, the Gran Turismo-esque games, the, you know, maybe even Drive Club-esque games. Those kind of games aren't there. You have Ridge Racer, which it's really pretty arcadey and it's very limited, and then you have like Need for Speed type games. There's not really, you know, anything in between. So, I mean, there's definitely lots.
Yes, all of those racing games came out in the first year as well, though. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, your Need for Speed, your Wipeouts, and your Sonic Racing, and your Ridge Racers. These are all year one titles, and they haven't really visited that again. You know, and it's kind of like, you know, these are all great games in their own way, but they're kind of like a bit stale now. They're old. You know, you need something fresh and a little bit more modern. You know.
Definitely. And games like tabletop racing, I mean, they satiate a bit, but there's not enough content in there to keep you coming back like over and over again. So once you've played everything, you know, a couple times, you're like, okay, well, even Ridge Racer, you know, there was more competition, or you could go online, or, you know, some of them it's just so limited that you play it and then you kind of played it to death, and then you kind of go back to those games that you've also almost played to death, and you're like, damn, why don't they have a new one? I don't know. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely some genres and things that the Vita needs, and I think we've covered quite a few of them there. Although I'm sure we're missing quite a few of them as well.
Oh yeah. All right, so here's a couple questions we got that Kyle and I didn't realize we got a couple weeks ago. So these are old questions, but I still think we should answer them because they asked us. So Lucas emailed us, and he says, very new to your work and loving what I've discovered. Incredibly helpful for people who enjoy the Vita, so keep it up. A question for your podcast show. Every console has an end. How long do you think the Vita will be around with support for, and what would you hope happens when the Vita ends? New handheld? Question mark. Kyle.
All right, so you're throwing this one to me first.
Yep.
So I didn't know about this question beforehand, so this is completely off the top of my head. However, I'm thinking that the Vita will be around as long as the PS4 kind of is. I mean, I don't necessarily see it, you know, games being readily released all the way to the end of the PlayStation 4 cycle, but I mean, I think there will be sort of a market for it at least until the end of you know, PS4 lifetime, just because of the whole remote play aspect. But as for actual game releases, I'm thinking it's probably something around 7-year lifespan. So I think we're 3 years in now, so couple more to go. We're approaching the halfway point probably.
Yeah.
And yeah.
New handheld? Do you think a new handheld will happen?
Yeah, I could see them doing it, but if they did it, they'd have to approach it completely differently, because obviously this way did not work. You know, maybe not doing so much crossover between the last generation console and a next generation console might be a good idea, and then that way they could put more, you know, emphasis on the handheld as well. I'm not sure, but they're definitely going to have to approach it differently if they do a new handheld. And if they're kind of looking at it the way they looked at the Vita, I doubt they're going to do it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my point of view, I think probably 6 to 7 years total lifespan for the Vita as a games device. But a lot of that depends on the PS4 as well. You know, like Kyle says, you know, whether we like it or not, remote play is an angle they go for, you know, and, you know, they're invested a lot of time and money into PlayStation now, and they're putting that onto the Vita. You know, as it is, I think it will be around for a while. Whether I think they'll have another one in the future, I don't know. It's been a very costly experiment for them. It didn't work out how they thought it would. I mean, gaming, especially handheld gaming, has changed an awful lot. Even the 3DS has considerably outperformed the Vita, but even that's struggling compared to, you know, the original DS. You know, people are content with just playing things on their phones now. You know, it's changing. So I don't know. You just don't know what everyone's planning or what technology will be available in the future. I just think that the world that existed when the Vita was conceived isn't there anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sold 75 million PSPs and thought, yeah, do you know what? We'll make another one. We're going to walk it. You know, and it hasn't been like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we could go on forever about the mistakes that they've made involving the Vita. But yeah, I agree with both of you guys. The lifespan and pretty much... I'm a little iffy on whether or not they're going to take another chance at it, but I really hope they do. Because I love my PS4 and everything, but I play my Vita so much more, and I love having the handheld aspect, and I hate smartphones for gaming. So I don't understand why people are obsessed with playing these little games and dropping tons of money on these free-to-play stuff. I don't know. It's just not something for me, but clearly it's working, so you never know.
It's funny, like, I mean, if you look at it from whether the handheld market is a viable market and whether, you know, what the Vita could have done better, if they would have, you know, kind of, within the first 6 months, made a couple changes to the Vita, even things that aren't perfect, but they kind of just would have worked, like making Skype better so that people could use the 3G Vita to make calls. Stuff like that, I think would have driven the Vita farther kind of into that territory that, you know, smartphone gaming kind of occupies right now. Just because, you know, it has that whole it could be a phone thing. And I think definitely if Sony would have explored that more and kind of made the Vita integrate better into the market that we kind of have, where people want, you know, one device to do everything, it would have fared better, definitely, to start with. And I think that would be definitely something that they should look at if they make, you know, a Vita 2 or a PSP 3 or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, perhaps have it sort of like, you know, running mobile architecture, sort of like, you know, have it running Android or something like that, you know, because then it does everything, doesn't it? It does everything that a smartphone can do, and it has these games that you can get on the PS4 or PS5 or whatever as well, you know.
Yeah, like it wouldn't even really have to be, you know, smartphone like that, like as far as OS, because I know, you know, Sony, their whole thwart piracy thing. I think it would just, if you opened it up to, you know, the phone market or something, whereas it wasn't just you had to be specifically looking for, you know, a quality gaming experience on the go to get this device, then maybe it would have, you know, spread farther into the market, and, you know, that smartphone gaming, we could have taken a chunk of it perhaps, instead of leaving the market open to people who want one device that they can, you know, take with them and does everything. Because, like, I mean, really, the Vita does everything except make calls, right? Like, I mean, you can go on the browser, like, I mean, nothing's perfect, obviously, and if people would have used more of these features like YouTube and stuff, obviously they would have been updated and, you know, cared for more. But obviously it has pretty much everything you need to do mobile, except maybe a 3G modem, depending on the version you got, and making calls. So it's something that kind of they left out, that it would have been that one thing that they could have, you know, got a bigger slice in the market from. So might be something to look at. Maybe we'll get a, you know, Vita phone or something.
Yeah, you never know. All right, got another question here. This one's kind of a long one, so sit back and relax. This is from, I can't remember how to say his name. Do you remember how it's the Gasper guy? You remember how to say his name?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's Gasper.
Gasper.
Like
all right.
yeah.
So this is from Gasper. This was from a while ago. This was January 25th. So he says, you like to dedicate some airtime on every episode to trophies. I ain't really into trophies, but I will platinum a game that I really, really, really like to sort of validate my love for it. Some games, however, demand more than just a few extra hours for me to platinum. Killzone 3 and God of War Ascension don't just want you to beat it on extreme and find all the collectibles. Oh no, they want your blood. Lots of it. So I want to know, what was your hardest game to platinum, excluding Killzone 2 and Wipeout HD, because let's face it, that's just impossible.
My hardest game to platinum. Oh man. I don't know, man. There's some that were hard, but they weren't so much hard as in, like, I mean, like trying something over and over and failing at it until you get it. It was hard as in it just took so long. So it's kind of hard to say. I mean, Killzone Mercenary was kind of hard in that the tasks were kind of up there, but it wasn't super hard as in, I don't know. I got it pretty quick, so I don't know. I'm gonna say Soul Sacrifice. I'm gonna say that was probably the game that it just, you know, it was just out of reach, and I just kept grinding and grinding for it, and I just got it. So I'm thinking that one. Just because they wanted so much from you. It is one of those games like Killzone 2 where they kind of want your blood. What about you, Paul?
Well, my platinums are all embarrassing. Comprised mainly of
Hannah Montana.
Lego games. Yeah, no, not that bad. I mean, I've only got platinums on Vita games at the moment. But, yeah, you want to look at my Xbox gamer tag for embarrassing games I've played in platinums. But yeah, on the Vita, I've only really platinumed Lego games and sort of like Legends of War. There's a load that I'm quite close to. I mean, there must be about 6 or 7 games that I'm very, very close to getting platinums on. But it's like Kyle says, some of them, it's not a measure of hard, it's a measure of time. You know, FIFA 14 and FIFA 15, I'm very close to the platinums on both of those. But I've got to play every goddamn stadium in the game, and I've got to play every team. And that's just going to take me too long. And I haven't got the motivation for it. There's other ones like Tearaway. The only 3 trophies I need in Tearaway are the ones where you complete the missions without losing your stamp. My reflexes aren't good enough to stop me from falling off, you know.
Yeah, I did a video of that part. On my... Go ahead.
No, sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, those ones are a little bit of a bitch, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And Frozen Science Prime, you know, it's another example. You know, I'm so close to it. I mean, there's 2 trophies plus the platinum. Both of those trophies will come through completing the campaign using the commando unit and finishing the campaign. But at the point you're at, you know, it's a turn-based strategy game that then plays out in real time each turn. And if you make a mistake and you die, that's it. So if you get 6 or 7 turns in and you're doing all right, and then the tide turns against you, that's it. You're doing it all again. And it's I'll tell you, when my kids are about, I have to choose my language carefully. It's it's very frustrating, but it's challenging in a good way because it's making you think about things. It's just taking me so long.
Yeah. Oh, what would I have to say? I think the first thing that comes to mind would be Sound Shapes. Those challenge levels, I can't remember what they're called. They might just be called challenge. Death mode, yes. They're so incredibly frustrating. I remember doing it and just getting so mad because it was like you had to be perfect on every single level. Some of them were super easy, and then some of them were just like ridiculous. Like I'm never gonna platinum this game, and then finally I got it, and it felt great. And then I messed up and didn't sync my save to the cloud because then I could have gotten 2 more platinums for free because you can just cross by it and all that fun stuff. And yeah, I'm still a little mad about that. And I'm definitely not going to go back and do all the death modes levels again just to get the platinums in the PlayStation 4 and PS3 version. So I got the version that counts, the Vita. So
speaking of that, I mean, I saw somebody the other day, you know, it's like earned, you know, PSN profiles, and it said they earned like 158 trophies or something in 2 games. What? You go and check it, and they've just synced it.
Yep.
Just synced it to the PS3 and PS4. Alright.
Yeah, it's cheating, but whatever. If they'd allow it, why not?
Yeah.
And then yeah, like you guys are saying, there's the time-consuming ones. Like I'm working on WRC, and it's literally an actual time trophy where you have to play the game for 3 hours and all that. So there's 3 hours right there. And then I really want to get the Persona 4 platinum, but oh my god, that would take forever.
That one's on my list too, and yeah, that one's gonna take a while.
It would feel so good to get it though. Like, I don't know why, but getting that platinum, I would just be like, yes.
It's because it's one of those games that are so good that you just want to have that platinum so you can be like, I played that game and it was so good, I went back and did everything. Yep,
exactly what Gasper is saying. Like, the game, you just want to validate your love for it.
Pretty love.
Alright, he does say some more stuff. He says a joke. I don't know if you guys want me to read this joke. It's kind of long. Do you guys want to hear a joke?
Yeah, why not?
Alright, here we go. So Nathan Drake dies and goes to hell. He meets the devil, and the devil asks, "Why are you here?" Drake says, "I've killed thousands for an old dagger, and that's just my trip to Nepal." The devil replies, "Good, you shall seat at my left." Severenko, I don't know how to say that name, says, or dies, meets the devil, who asks him, "Why are you here?" Sev replies with, "I killed billions on Helgen, and I'm really, really racist." The devil, very impressed, seats Sev on his right. Kratos dies, and the devil asks him, "Why are you here?" Kratos replies with, "Get out of my throne, bitch." Well, there you go. Thank you, Gasper, for that. And he actually has another email that was sent a week later for the next episode of our podcast that we didn't get to, so I'll read that one now. So yeah, we had some catching up to do. If you listened to last week's episode, I mentioned it in the new releases that we hadn't been getting our emails correctly, so we kind of missed a couple questions. So here we go, we're catching up. He asks, to answer your question, YouTube Vita is the only YouTube app without ads. Has the best search engine for YouTube anywhere, and it's way faster than YouTube on my phone or laptop. And because it's my preferred way to browse YouTube, I am concerned. If you search for, let's say, Full Metal Alchemist on default YouTube, you will get 1,000 related results, but if you search for the same thing on Vita, you will get episode 1 on right there in first hits, uploaded by Funimation in themselves. It's the easy to use. I have watched Kill La Kill on the browser via 3G, but YouTube on Vita won't close the video when you switch to a game, so yeah, there are thousands of reasons for me to hate this news from Google. Question. Well, I guess that was just a statement. So the question has nothing to do with what he was just talking about YouTube. So his question says, did the 3.36 firmware update mess your 64 gigabyte memory card? It straight up bricked mine. Good thing I kept my old 32 gigabyte card, but my Soul Sacrifice Delta progress was on the 64 gigabyte card, and I haven't used cloud for the save data on the game. Sad face. Also, I have no idea. Oh, wait, never mind. Forget that last part. But yeah. So his question is, did anyone get their memory cards messed up because of that update?
Nope.
Yeah, we're the lucky ones here. I didn't either. But I also have, like, my really important games. I make sure they get uploaded to the cloud. So, I'm sorry, Gasper. I'm sorry. Looks like you got to jump back into Soul Sacrifice Delta now and just get back to where you were. Hopefully you weren't too far.
Yeah, I mean, basically every single game I've got on my memory card, I take advantage of the cloud service on PlayStation Plus, and I'm always constantly backing up my saves to there just in case anyway.
Yeah.
And obviously I know a lot of people use Content Manager to back up their memory cards as well.
Yep, I'm a PC backer-upper, so I have, 90 gigs of Vita stuff backed up to my PC.
Jeez.
Yep.
Well, alright, that is all the listener mail I have, but we still have... Actually, no, that's a lie. I have some on Twitter, but you can go ahead and read yours, Kyle, next.
Alrighty, so moving on, we've got one from Fletcher, and that's at Pool with an E 7112 on Twitter. And Fletcher asks, I enjoyed the 2 additional multiplayer maps for Killzone Mercenary, but do you guys think they should make more? Paul, what do you think?
I think they should make more. It's a tremendous game. It's one of the standout Vita titles there is, and one of the things they did get really right. And the maps that are available, especially the 2 additional that they did put in, they worked quite well. Even though it's got on the Vita you've got a reduced player count, I think the maps still work quite well. And more DLC, even if it was paid, would go down a treat. I just don't think they've got the resources or the intention of doing it. The game's the best part of a year and a half old now. It's I think that boat sailed, unfortunately.
Yeah, they've moved on to their next project, but yeah, I would love to take more maps because I love Killzone, and they would definitely sell if they made some paid DLC. I'd buy it.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah. And I haven't played that game in a couple months.
I mean, DLC has its criticisms and detractors, but what it does do, it does enhance the life of titles long after they've been out. You know, it does work if it's done the right way. It's just a shame we didn't get any more for that.
Yeah. Oh well. Maybe next time.
I definitely think that, you know, we're far enough in that we can kind of say that there's probably not going to be any more. However, I think it would be awesome if just out of the blue sometime they just made another map, like even just one, and just, you know, put it up for free for everyone to use. Because I mean, the big thing is the free thing and giving the maps away is that everyone can play them, and then you're not getting into matches where it loads a bunch of maps and then you get to a map you don't have and it kicks you out, because that's not fun.
Yeah.
And I've played some games where it kind of does that, and, you know, implementing it another way would just limit the amount of people that kind of go into each game. So that's kind of the way you have to do it. But yeah, I think it's definitely something that they could do to bring people back to the game or boost sales again, or, you know, any number of things. But I don't think they're going to, because I think we're just kind of that far along now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for the question.
Indeed. Thanks, Fletcher.
We got a couple more here. These should be pretty quick ones. Nonscpo at NONSCPO asks, now that Criminal Girls is out, what are your thoughts on all the video reviews, responses, and impressions for it? If anyone's even looked at any of that.
I haven't, because I would imagine that my wife would take exception to me looking at that or saying that, which is the only reason I haven't checked it. I've got young children, and I think that you know, my kids use my Vitas and stuff, so I think that's just a game that I'm definitely not going to experience.
Yeah.
Good luck to those that do.
That's where you're supposed to use that parental control bubble, right?
Is that what it's for, is it?
Yeah, I think you can set it to a certain restriction, and then if someone tries to click on that bubble, then you'd have to enter a password that you'd set.
See, I think I'm better off just avoiding the game.
Yeah.
It saves any confusion or conversations.
Yeah.
I quite like being married.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you, Kyle?
Yeah, I don't really get it. I mean, I do and I don't. The whole, you know, what these characters look like and their age that they look and blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, anything where you have anime and it's coming to the West, there's going to be people who are like, that's bad, don't have that over here. So, I kind of expected it, and it, you know, I mean, perception is everything, and it's how kind of people perceive things. So, you know, for one person it might be completely lewd, and for another person it might be meh, whatever. And for me it's kind of meh, whatever, because, I mean, people are all up in arms about the game, but to me, like, I don't see a big deal. I mean, they've censored it enough that it's not really like they're showing anything anyway, so, like, it's not a big deal, and I wasn't really looking forward to the actual gameplay parts of the game, so yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of one of those whatever things to me. I don't really get why it's such a big deal, and I do at the same time. It just doesn't click in my head. So that's my personal opinion. But if you're looking for an opinion, we'll have one soon. NeoGAF member Shizuka is working on the review, and I actually just got it tonight, and we'll be editing it. So look for that soon.
Bam! There you go. That's good, because I haven't looked at anything for it, so I have nothing to say. So there you go. Thanks for the question, Nonscapo. We got 2 questions here that are kinda questions, but I don't know. I guess I'll read them to you guys, and then you guys can say yes or no if we want to go into it. So first one here, with Cats and Skulls Vita themes. Actually, I should say who it is. Jonathan Carneo at JHOCARNEIRO says, with Cats and Skulls Vita themes launched weekly, do you miss game-related themes?
Missed them. We didn't really get many to begin with. I mean, Japan got some sweet themes, the Danganronpa theme, the Freedom Wars theme. I think we got Tearaway, Uncharted, and I think something else. I don't even remember.
Yeah, you got 4 seasons. You got Stitched and another one.
Yeah, but the game ones are only Uncharted and Tearaway.
Anyway, we didn't get many to begin with, so it's, for me, it's not like we're missing them. It's like they were never there to begin with. So if they would, be so kind as to release some cool game ones, then maybe I'll get some. But as it stands, my Vita is decorated with my own choices of artwork instead of one of those stupid themes that they have up. So
yeah.
I've got the 20th anniversary theme on my Vita. But they made such a big song and dance about releasing themes for the Vita, and what have they really released? It's like you're talking five or 6 themes. It really wasn't worth crowing about. It's a nice feature, and obviously some people do like spending additional money on a game when it comes out. If it has like a custom theme and to get into that kind of mode and stuff, and it's like on the Xbox they used to sometimes throw the theme in with the game and stuff, and I thought that was a pretty cool touch. But for the amount of fuss they made about releasing themes and then the effort they've not put into it afterwards, it's kind of disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little frustrating because I was really looking forward to the Freedom Wars theme and all that, but now it just seems like it's a little too late. Like, even if they brought it out, I might look at it but then be like, well, I don't know. But they could always they could always change it. They could bring out a Persona 4 theme and I'd be like, oh, all right, back in. But yeah, I don't know. You never know.
It's almost like they created some hype and then they missed their own hype window to release something cool.
Yeah.
It's like, some stuff is coming. Here's some crap. Now, do you want some good stuff? Oh, well, it's too late.
Yeah.
Maybe, slightly related to themes, but not quite. The new 3DS has got interchangeable faceplates. Now, mobile phones from the late 1990s had interchangeable faceplates, so everybody could do their own thing. People are kind of like more going to phone covers and stuff like that with their phones now. But I think they missed a trick with the Vita, with you not being able to customise the external appearance of it. You've got people, vinyls and stickers and all that kind of stuff on their Vitas is quite a big thing for a lot of people, and I think they really missed a trick by not doing that. So, that's an area where
you've got people importing Vitas from Japan just to get, the green and white Vita, or these special colors, or paying exorbitant amounts for people in Japan to buy things for them that can't be like shipped outside the country and then ship them outside the country. Like, I mean, there's just so much demand for these cosmetic things that it's funny that they don't offer them over here in some sort of way. Even if it's not faceplates, offering these special edition and different color Vitas from the Sony store would be something good, but no, they don't. They just kind of bland black, white. That's all we get.
Yep. Well, all right. That is all we've got. That was a lot of listener mail. Thank you, everyone.
At least we got through it.
Yes. So let's jump on to check this out, and this week we're gonna throw it to Paul since he hasn't been here in a while. So, Paul, what should we check out this week?
I mentioned it earlier, and Brad's been waxing lyrical about it all over Twitter and all over the forum. And it's Kick and Finick from Jaywalkers Interactive. If you're listening, Jaywalkers, we'd love to have a chat with you about it. So if you want to get in touch and join the podcast, then feel free. But it's a great little game from a 2-man indie studio that, if you look at it, you wouldn't think it was an indie game. It's not your stereotypical title. It's sort of like it's a side-scrolling puzzle platformer, but it's kind of like rendered in 3D, and it's lovely to look at. It's fantastic to play. You've got a gun. It shoots, and the recoil projects you, so you've got to aim and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not explaining it tremendously well, but download it if you've got Plus. It's free. It's fantastic. It'll entertain you for a long time, and it's definitely worth checking out. It shows you that if you're a little bit ambitious as a studio, this is what you can achieve. and I'd like to see more games like it on the Vita.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. It's extremely interesting, and I was shocked to know that, or find out that it was only 2 people behind it, because it looks like 1,000 hands touched this game.
Absolutely.
So yeah, like Paul said, Jaywalkers, if you guys want to be on here, you should definitely send us an email and whatnot, and we will get you on. So alright, next thing we have here is threads to look at on the forum this week. So Kyle, what should they check out on the forum this week?
Alright, well, a cool one I noticed from this week is actually called the Guess That Vita game. So it's a game where you're actually guessing Vita games from screenshots. So somebody posts a screenshot, you guess the game it is. Once you've, figured out which game it is, or somebody has been identified as the winner, then they post a Vita screen and somebody else guesses, and on and on. So if you're looking to play a cool little game with Vita screens and see some cool screens, that's a good place to go. And there was even some laughs, so there you go. Yeah. It's always a good place to go to talk about Vita, that Vita forum we have.
Test your knowledge.
That too.
Yeah, the one that's on there at the moment, the one that's on there at the moment from TechChup's post, I haven't got a clue what game it is. So if you want to try and hazard a guess before someone posts it, then jump in and have a look.
I want to check it out right now. Oh boy.
I think I might know what it is, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think I might know too. Kyle, what do you think it is?
Do you want to give it away on the podcast, Tyler?
I can edit it. I can bleep it out.
Alright. I think it's what the hell's that game? Rebirth.
Rebirth. Oh, yeah. Miramasa Rebirth?
Yes.
That's not what I was thinking.
Oh no? What are you thinking?
Now that I'm thinking what I'm thinking, then I think I'm wrong. But it looks like the movie part of Tales of Hearts R.
Oh, you might be right. And that would make sense because there's a watermark in the bottom corner, and there wouldn't be a watermark on Muramasa, I don't believe, right there. I don't think it's like that.
Huh. He said it should be easy, so I don't know. I could be wrong. But alright.
You are right. That does look like the opening where they jump off the cliff in Tales of Hearts R.
Yeah. Alright, I'll edit all that out.
No, when you edit it out, keep it in the podcast, but bleep it out with dog barks.
That's brilliant. I'll do that. Alright, well, you should definitely check out that forum post and guess for yourself. See if you are correct, and post your own screenshot if you think you can stump some Vita fans out there. Like Kyle and myself, maybe. Well, yeah. Well, alright, let's get out of here. Like always...
Quickly,
go ahead.
Kyle, Tyler, I want to talk about the competition thread.
Alright, go for it.
Okay. Another thread you can check out this week is the February competition thread, where you can win yourself a copy of Motocross GP. Every forum member is eligible to enter our monthly competitions. We've given away Freedom Wars, we've given away Minecraft, we gave away a ton of codes for Curves titles over Christmas. We gave away Danganronpa 2, and our monthly game this week is this month is Motocross GP. So as long as you're a registered forum member, you've made 5 posts this month, and you have more than 25, stick your name down, and you can win that game. The competition closes this Sunday.
Get on it. Well, alright, now let's get out of here. So like always, you can find every story that we talked about on thevitalounge.net. We're all on Twitter, at the Vita Lounge. I'm at Mr. PSVita Reviews. Kyle is at Teflon Tactics. Paul likes to just use the Vita Lounge Twitter handle, so if you want to get in contact with him, just go at the Vita Lounge. We also have a Facebook page. Just search the Vita Lounge. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/loungeplay. We post the podcast up, which actually I just got done rendering it, so the last episode's going to be up there pretty soon, so I got to get caught up on that. We also do lounge plays. We have been slacking, but hopefully we can get going on that again because it's a lot of fun to play with you guys, and Kyle and I enjoy killing you guys in Killzone, so we need to get back to that. So yeah, also we've done a couple upcoming release videos, so if you're curious what's coming out on the Vita soon, then go watch those videos, and we plan on ramping up that soon, so hopefully you'll see some new content, and of course the Vita cast will be on there, because yeah. Alright, also the forum, the vitalounge.net/forum, like Paul was saying, there's lots of stuff going on in there, the giveaways, we've got that interesting guessing game that's up there, so feel free to sign up, join the conversation, introduce yourself, get accustomed to all this Vita content we've got. We're on iTunes, just search the Vita Lounge and subscribe to us, comment, let us know how we're doing, and we are out of here. Thanks, Paul, for joining us this week.
No problem.
And we are gone. Bye.
Later, Vita Gators.
See you next week.